Let me welcome you all to what is the first race, the opening race, the GTP-WRS 2013 F1 Championship. Of course, we are at Monaco, and we're just in time for Q1 of qualifying. Of course, knockout qualifying, 3 rounds. All 15 drivers take part in the first round. The top 10 will go through to round 2, and I believe the top 6 into round 1. Yep, on myself, I'm not racing, so I am going to be broadcasting the event as things unfold. I'll be covering all of the guys' times, and I'll see you guys through this qualification. First off, let's introduce the drivers. That's quite important. I'll read these in division order. So this is in WRS GTP registry division order. At the top we have GTP-WGE, although he's not in qualifying. Let's go for the guys in qualifying first of all. We've got GTP GTP, I'll just skip the GTP. We've got Twissy, Spurgy, Pasm, Ghost Driver, Tidgney, Matthew, Tam Hablo, Gooners, Dr. Watson, WRP, Iderenda, Rocket, RPH, Jammy, Gazzy Boy, and that is all for qualifying today. Additionally, in the race tomorrow, we've got some pre-qualifiers. WGE, as you might have heard me mention, is also in the race. Calcifer pre-qualified, and Racing World also pre-qualified. So that is the lineup. Q1 is about to start any minute, guys. It's a 20-minute open session, just like in the Formula 1 race. Obviously, Monaco F1 Grand Prix was today qualifying, so some of you may have seen that. Some of you may already be familiar with the proceedings here. I'm going to be switching between the live view here and also to the timing screen, so you guys can see the qualifying times as they pop up. And the track is open. So the guys have got 20 minutes, and that'll last us up until, what's the time? 1 hour 7, so 1 hour and 27 on the lobby timer. During the official actual feature race, each driver is required to use each a racing soft and a racing hard tire at least once. In qualification, you can pit as many times. It's an open pit. You can use as many different tires as you like. However, if you make it to Q3, you are bound to the tyres that you use in Q3 as to your starting tyres. So if you choose to take the racing soft tyres for Q3, if you make it that far, you're forced to start the race in the racing soft tyres. Let's take a look here as Gooners enters his first flying lap here, leading the pack round. Let's see what kind of benchmark he's going to set. Bring up the live times screen here. Feedback. Well, we'll leave it for now. If it gets a lot worse later on, then I'll decrease the quality a bit for you guys. Anyway, benchmark was just set by Gooners with a 1 minute 9.642. Twissy in second, 1 minute 10. Spurgy just in behind him, 1 minute 10.6. And Matthew 1:11 flat. Ghost Driver gets a 11.496. Rocket in behind him. So far no more changes of position here as the times come in. WRP jumps up to 5th place with an 11 flat above Ghost Driver, and he's just marginally behind. He's 0.005 behind there, behind GM Matthew. And Tam Hablo, some of you may or may not know him. He's Dr. Orp on GTP, I believe. He's just come into 3rd there. Gazzy Boy down in last at the moment with a 118. Gooners, of course, with the current top speed, is it? Or Spurgy now, maybe? Spurgy in first with the 1 minute 9.562. Looks like Pasm has just had a spin there up by the casino. Now obviously traffic on this qualifying session can be a bit of a problem. Ideally the drivers will want to have a bit of space ahead of them, especially if they think that they're going to be going faster than the guys in front, but of course it's so tight around here, and if you make a mistake you might end up having one of your laps potentially slowed down by traffic. So obviously guys might be slowing up to give themselves a little bit of room up ahead. And now currently Spurgy, whilst we took that short intermission, dropped back into third with Pasm has jumped into second place with a 1 minute 9.525, and Gooners jumped into first with a 1 minute 9.411. So the current split time between the first and second is only basically 100th, 0.14 of a second, or 0.014 of a second. Some guys are already in the pits there. Who's that? Can't find him. And Turismo just sets the fastest lap there. The first to get into the 1 minute 8, so he gets a 1 minute 8.961. Spurgy jumped ahead of Gooners with a 1 minute 9.392. So he's currently in second, Gooners in third. The current cutoff looks like at GTP Rocket. So currently it looks like Jammy, Dr. Watson, Gazzy Boy, Ely Render and RPH in the current cutoff zone to move into Q2 currently. I feel like I can highlight the quality of the field at this point. From what I could see, it looks like we've got, well, at least for the race, we have 6 or possibly 7 out of the 15 grid, or the 16 grid, that have qualified in positions for GT Academy, so you can immediately tell that we got some fast guys in here. Some very fast guys in here. Obviously we've got some mixed experiences. Some people using the F1 cars a lot. A lot of these guys have had actually not much, if any, experience with the Formula 1 cars in Gran Turismo at all. Other guys, for example, I know that Gazzy Boy races in the Immortal Pilot series. At least he did. So some guys obviously have some better experience with the F1 cars. Some guys are just naturally fast, whether they have experience in these cars or not. Looks like we've had a spin out there, right at the bottom of the chicane. Can't quite see who that is. Hang on, let's see if we can find. Yeah, it's Gooners there who span out. Coming up to the 1:19 minute mark. Of course, we started on 1 minute 7, so the guys have had just over 10 minutes, less than half of the qualifying session to go. Currently, the bottom few to be knocked out of Q1, going into Q2, hasn't changed. Twisty's still with the lead lap at 1 minute 8.961. Spurgy in second, Gooners in third there. Oh, we've had a change of leader here. So GTP Pasm, currently in the pits, I believe, set a new best lap record at 1 minute 8.675. So over a tenth faster than Twisty's original. In fact, Spurgey has also just beaten Twisty's lap with a 1 minute 8.8, but he's also behind Pasm there, so a good chunk of time taken off there by GTP Pasm with an absolutely insane lap that he's just set here. Goon is also running well with his first two splits weren't that great there. Yeah, didn't manage to beat his current best. Let's take a look from one of the guys running towards the back here. Someone mentioned R35 Skyline, so let's have a look at him. GTP Rocket is his GTP name, so let's have a look at him doing some laps here for a minute. I've been told that GTP Pasm, his golden lap, he said that he wanted to hit was anything below 1 minute 9 seconds. So he's gone well past that. He's nearly 4 tenths faster than his golden lap, which is obviously pretty crazy. He must have hit that perfect lap there. Maybe he got a little bit of draft at some point down one of the straights. In the tunnel now with GTP Rocket. This is of course the longest straight, the longest flat out section. Then you got that heavy braking down the hill as you come through chicane. Down through to back and then into the swimming pool area. And then as you head towards Resgas. Out through the Anthony Nogues. And then down the start finish. Obviously that is the DRS zone in F1, however we don't have any DRS in Gran Turismo, so you're just going to have to make the best of any slipstream that you can get in there, where it's going to be tricky to make a pass on just that short straight. A few guys have already parked in the pits here, so these last few guys just trying to make their way up the table with any last few laps. Checkered flag is on the minute here. So any guys still running will obviously be able to finish their laps. And there's a checkered flag. The last few guys will finish off that lap. Gunas did of course start with the top lap for a little while, but he's dropped down to 5th at the end of Q1, and we'll take a look at who's going to be staying in Q1 and who's going to be moving into Q2 here. There'll be a 5-minute break in between the qualifying sessions. And we'll get into Q2 straight away. You may obviously notice here, compared to the current F1 circuit, the pits are on trackside as opposed to the behind the wall there. This is apparently some older layout version of the track, so that's why it looks a little bit different to how it looks currently. Okay, so we just confirmed the drivers there for the Q2. It's Gazzy Boy, Ren and RPH who won't be making it through to Q2. Okay, so WRP's just confirmed that, so 3 go out for the from Q1, which means that 12 end up in Q2, and then basically Q2 gets split down the middle, so the back 6 finish in Q2 and the top 6 go through to Q1, and then the go through to Q3, and then the 6 guys in Q3 will attempt to qualify for the pole position and the top spots on the grid for the race tomorrow. Okay, track has just been opened. Looks like Gunas is first out again, loving a bit of clean air. I mean, it will probably help massively. You don't have anyone in front of you to worry about. You can just crack on and get that flying lap done. Warm up your tyres on the out lap. Gunas just coming in for his first flying lap, or just finishing the first flying lap. Let's see what the benchmark he'll set is here. So it's in a 19.747. Rocket coming in straight after him. Well behind with the 112. Tam Hablo, Pasm with another 1.9. The best lap obviously from Q1 was GTP Pasm with the 1.8.6 something. Can't remember the exact time there. Coming down now towards the chicane. Just hopping over the barriers slightly. Looks like Dr. Watson spun out in the chicane there, so having to dodge him. Then coming through swimming pool. And then out the other side. And then through Rascasse there. Now some of you may be aware, but the GT5 course is actually slightly different to the real life counterpart, in that this one is actually quite a lot tougher. The walls are much closer to the sides of the track. I mean, basically the sides are the walls. Some of the, for example, turn 16 and 15 through the swimming pool, and then you know, coming out of Tabac and things like that. All of that area is like rumble strips and things like that, whereas in GT5 you've just got the wall right there. So the areas like that, I mean, you've got a little less room to play with. You can see here Twissy just overtaking traffic here with Rocket just coming through the tunnel. Obviously you don't have to add any fuel, so these cars do have the fuel, and as the fuel runs down, the cars do get lighter, so you should be expecting to see faster lap times towards the end of course. Let's have a look at the live timings. Twissy's still in first, although Pasm has got a 1.9.5, so Twissy's still about 0.6 of a second up on anyone. Of course, at the end of Q2, only the top 6 drivers will qualify into Q3. So currently the cutoff is at GM Matthew. So Matthew, Tam Hablo, Tidgney, Rocket, Jammy and Dr. Watson are in the current cutoff, with WRP, Ghost Driver, Gunas, Spurgy, Pasm and Twissy all going into Q3. No one's quite matched the time of Pasm from Q1 so far, which was in 1 minute 8.6. Extremely fast lap there. Gunas just comes in with a 1.9.2. That's a quick lap there, but he's jumped into second place. Didn't quite manage to get those extra few tenths to take Twissy though. If we've got any Spurgy fans out there, Spurgy777, obviously an extremely fast driver. A lot of guys probably will have heard of him. He's done well in GT Academy, although I believe too young to compete. That's correct. So in 2012 he came 6th in the UK, but was actually too young to actually be able to compete in the finals, unfortunately for him. And he told me that he was looking to beat Twissy, the other guy, another guy from UK, who came first in GT Academy in UK last year. So those guys both extremely quick, and Spurgy is after Twissy. Dr. Orp, or as we know him here, is Tam Hablo, just also moved up into 7th. He'll be chasing that 6th place where Tidgney's at the moment, but he's pushed WRP down into 8th. He got a 1 minute 9.584. So let's just clarify then. Top 6 go through to Q3. Twissy. Oh, we've lost them. They've gone. Well, I believe it was Twissy, Gunas, Pasm, Spurgy, Ghost Driver, and one other. Ooh, I didn't see. I'm not sure who the last one was. Ooh, it may well have been Tidgney. I can't guarantee that. Tam Hablo, was it? Okay, did Tidgney get knocked down? Yep, it looks like it was. It looks like it was Tam Hablo knocked Tidgney off in the last lap or two. Here we go for Q3 then. These are what's left of our knockout qualifying for tomorrow's race. Let me remind you all that the feature race, the full 78 lap, 160 odd miles, if I'm right in that number, of Monaco Grand Prix in Gran Turismo 5, GTP-WRS online events, hosted by 3D3 Racing. And Q3 has just kicked off. Gooners again leading the way. We are on Oink TV, I should say. We are live. Q3 outlap for the third time. GTP Gooners has taken to the track first. He seems to have that first stall right at the exit to the pits, so he's in a prime position to do so. Gooners, of course, lives in Canada, so is unable to participate in GT Academy, so I'm afraid I can't give you any stats in that regard. Let me see if I can bring up something else instead for you. According to our database, uses the Driving Force GT. I'm sure many of you are aware of the wheel, the official, one of the official Gran Turismo wheels. I myself have a Driving Force GT. Not so bad. It's quite a good wheel. He's a WRS Goliath, I would say. I think he's up there with the most amount of podiums ever, as far as I'm aware, in the WRS online events. I may be wrong there, but that's just off the top of my head. Oh no, we're on lap 3 already. I've missed a lap. Spurgey with a 1:09 at the top. There we go. Pazem with a 1:09.467. Currently on top, and Twissy just tops out with a 1:09 flat. Great lap. As the fuel runs down, of course, the cars get lighter, and we'll be seeing the 1:08s, the high 1:08s. Still no one having topped Pazem's best lap in Q1, which was an 1:08.6. Extremely fast lap. Let's go live to GTP Ghost Driver. Ghost Driver as well, another GT Academy national finalist in the UK, of course. Although I believe he originates from South Africa, so he's come over here. Although, I guess he probably came over because there isn't a GT Academy in South Africa. Felt like he needed to come over here so he could get in on it because of his ridiculous speed. WRP has just mentioned in the chat the tyre compound used to set the fastest lap, I believe, that's how it works, is the compound that the drivers must use in the actual race tomorrow. Everyone's on the softs. So I guess that means that all of these guys will be starting the race tomorrow on the softs. I don't know if that is a tactic that that everyone was going to use anyway. Who knows? I mean, I suspect these guys have thought about this, have thought which compound they wanted, or whether the starting grid position is more important. Monaco, notoriously very difficult to pass on. If you defend well and you keep consistent laps, don't make any mistakes, which isn't easy on this track, but if you don't, very difficult to make a pass here. It's only about 2 car widths wide in most places, and just too risky to make a pass anywhere. Obviously, as I mentioned already, there is no DRS on the start-finish line as there is normally, so there's also that limitation. So passing really does become a very big challenge, and you may need to use the pit strategy to make any passes. Looks like GTP Pazem has actually moved up into first here. He's in current pole position with a 1:09 flat. Even flatter than Twissy's 1:09 flat. The Spurgey just makes a little mistake coming across the chicane there. Can we get a checkered flag? There it is! Look at that checkered flag, guys. Brilliant. Thanks, graphics department. Top work this time. Here we go. Pazem currently in first. No one made it into the 1:08s this time. 1:09.006 for Pazem. He's sitting on pole position unless one of these guys on their last lap can top that. Gooners has got an incredibly fast first sector. Let's see what he does with the second. It looks like he's had a bit of a slip and... Oh no. Looks like Gooners is on for an extremely quick lap here. Got an 18.5 first sector and a 32.8 in the second sector. This could be jumping a few positions here in the tables. Where's he gonna go? No, he's not gone anywhere. His final sector was a bit off, I think. But he was well up there. That's unfortunate there for Gunners. And there we go. Those are our final grid positions at the front there. So GTP-WRS will be in pole position on a 1 minute 9.006. Twisty will be in second place on the grid, 1 minute 9.075. Extremely close times there. GTP Tam Hablo. Some of you may know him. Dr. Orpy is also raced in the Mortal Series, I believe. 1 minute 9.239. Gunners in 4th, 1 minute 9.352. Spurgy 5th, 1 minute 9.622. And Ghost Driver in 6th with a 1 minute 9.912. Anyway, I think we'll wrap it up there. We thank you all for coming and watching this qualifying. Some pretty exciting stuff. Crazy Q1 best lap from GTP-WRS there. Anyway, we'll be back on Oink TV, hosted by 3D3 Racing, GTP Weekly Race Series online events, F1 Championship, Monaco, opening race, tomorrow at 7 PM. We'll see you then.